Hey everyone, hope you're having a great weekend. I haven't made a video in a while on these SLs and just want to do a quick update on what's going on with them. Uh, a new one that I just got and when the Designo car is going to be finished. I'll start off with this newer car here. I just picked up this white SL, so it's kind of a unicorn for me. I love the white on this car. It's very hard to find. Out of the 20 or 25 SLs that I've had over the 4 or 5 years, I believe only 3 of them have been white. And this one has no pearl in it. It's just a pure white. I think it's called alabaster white. You can see there's no metallic in it whatsoever. It's just a nice bright white. And this particular car has zero wax on. You can hear how bad the paint is. It may not even look that bad on camera, but it definitely needs a good full detail paint correction, which it'll obviously receive when I'm done. But super nice though, only about 47,000 original miles on the car. Really clean. All stock, except for one thing. These bad boys right here, which I hate, and I'm actually just going to take them off in the meantime, put on a set of the stock 18-inch wheels, and I hate these so much. If anyone does like chrome, and they like big lip dish car wheels, these ones got about a 3.5-inch dish in the rear. I mean, they're not my particular style, but you know, whoever likes chrome, I mean, they might look nice for someone. The only thing is they did a 275/30 in the rear and a 245/35 in the front, which gives you a little more sidewall, but you're going down from even the stock tire sizes and width, you know, by one size. The stock sizes are a 255 and a 285. So that's, like I said, not my cup of tea. I'd rather do it right and put the right tire sizes on it. Only thing is these are kind of beat up. It's definitely going to need to be re-chromed. You can see the chrome is flaking off on this front wheel. The tires are in good shape. So if anyone wants these, shoot me a DM or email, let me know. Let them go cheap. Other than that, I said it's a pretty nice car. It has the light gray interior. I wish it had the berry red interior. That's my favorite color combo, the white on red. Didn't have any issues other than one, and that was the red battery light was on in the dash or the gauge cluster there. So I just finished fixing that up now. You can see it's kind of torn apart here in the rear. Don't mind the garage, it's kind of a mess at the moment. I've got so many projects going on. I really do got to clean it up and get a little more organized, but just too much going on at the moment. But anyway, here's the culprit of what that red battery light is, and this is called a battery voltage stabilizer, I believe, and this is where it's located at, right here behind the carpet in the passenger side rear. And more often than not, if this particular component goes bad, 9 times out of 10 you have leaking water from this rear seal that goes along the back of the glass here. And from the factory, there's this rubber seal, and then they put a piece of double-sided tape that goes along this inside portion, which you obviously can't see. It's covered up, that attaches to the metal lip on the roof here. And that double-sided tape, just over time, you know, water hitting it over 10-15 years or whatever, degrades, and then the water will eventually get past that double-sided tape and, you know, come along this channel underneath and either go into this side and pull here, or go into this side and pull here, or both. And it just so happens to where if this water drips down, which will come out right in this corner, you can see what's right underneath of that path. It comes right down to this voltage regulator area, and that's usually what causes death of those components, is water leaking into there. So if you do have to replace that voltage stabilizer there, make sure you take the time. This is only about $150 seal at wholesale. It's not too bad to pull off. Anyone can do that. There's just 2 screws on each side, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you got to have the roof halfway open. And it's a little time consuming. You have to prep the metal, repaint it, and obviously use the correct tape to put back down there. And it takes a little bit of time to do, but do it right, or you're gonna have to be replacing that part again. And that part isn't cheap if you buy it brand new. I want to say it's about $1,000 or $1,200. So make sure you don't cheap out and you do replace these seals. Obviously it's just rubber, and that's just double-sided tape underneath, and these do go bad from heat and just water and moisture, everything over time. So once that's done, it'll be good to go. I did have to also replace the gas pedal, as there's a like a little computer chip or sensor inside that pedal that detects how far it is, and once it hits the detent sensor on the bottom of the pedal travel, it causes an error and kind of throws the car into a limp mode, where it almost feels like a Prius power-wise. If that sensor goes bad, you put your foot to the floor and the car will go pretty much nowhere. It will accelerate at 0 to 60 in 30-second mile-an-hour rate. You stop the car, turn it off, turn it back on, all is well, until you hit that detent switch at full throttle or wide open throttle. You'll get an error code for that too. I believe it's, don't quote me on this, a P0123. Pretty sure that's it. But anyway, that pedal was only about $200. Takes 10 minutes to replace, so that's all as well there. So that's it for this car. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with this one yet. If I'm going to do a full, balls of the wall build, or just do some cosmetic upgrades to it, some carbon fiber, different wheels, lower, that type of stuff, and just leave it kind of stock performance-wise. If anyone's interested in this car or wants to kind of build it out, shoot me an email, DM, let me know. Okay, so that's that one, and here's the Designo SL that I've had for a while and just haven't had a chance to get around to finishing up. Now I'm probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks away from it being done. It may not look like it, but everything's in place. It just kind of needs to put back together. Did a little bit different on the cooling this time. I use this PLM private label manufacturing XL heat exchanger. This is the biggest heat exchanger on the market for the 55 platform that I'm aware of. There is another one from a different company that has a center portion that comes up into this area here as well. A secondary or third heat exchanger, but I like to run my intakes, down to this area and put the filters here, so I don't run that one. And I use Pierreberg CWA 100.3 pump, so this is actually a newer pump than the 100.2, and this pump, according to Techmotive, has a different impeller design or impeller housing, and a couple of small improvements over the 100.2. I'm not sure how big of a difference that's actually going to make, but I like to always use the newest parts. So it's a little bit better cooling. And as far as colors and stuff like that, I'll show you what I did with some of the components. I'm going to keep the wheels a bit of a secret here until they're done. I'll show you what the calipers look like. I'm super happy with the way these turned out, though. I think this color is going to look amazing on here. Find somewhere to set this down there. So this is a powder coat once again, and it's from Prismatic Powders. It's a very light orange color, and you might not be able to tell from this lighting in here, but it has a ton of metallic flake in it. It kind of flops between like a gold and an orange, depending on the light that it's in. And then I use the curved AMG logos this time instead of the straight ones. So as always, this was taken off the car, obviously, since it's in front of me, and the areas where the pistons are at were masked off. and the seals were removed prior to powder coating. And then the decal was put on, and then a clear coat of powder over top of that as well. So did the calipers, a couple of the engine bay pieces in this orange, and then some like polished silver type of colors for some of the other stuff, and the charcoal color for the coolant tank. And the wheels, like I said, are gonna keep a bit of a secret for the moment until they get in and I actually see how they look. But I think this color combo is gonna look amazing. It's gonna be anything else like it out there. It's really gonna tie in with this saddle color interior on this car. So not too much else to do. I'm building the exhaust pretty much from scratch on this car. It's a dual 3-inch all stainless 304 piping that I'm using on it. And I'm using a different set of mufflers on this car this time just to try something different. I'm not going to say what they are until I put them on to make sure they sound good, and then if someone wants to know what they are, I'll probably pass that along. But this car also has Benz Works long tube headers instead of the clean mid-leg headers that I was using previously. So I'm hoping to pick up a little more power there, possibly lower temperatures under the hood. So I'm excited to see how those turn out. And then the last thing I'll show you is these headlights. I did a little bit different this time as well. And these aren't tinted. As you can see, this is just clear. So light output is not affected at all by doing this. And I upgraded the internals a little bit as well. This was the stock lens, or the stock projector lens. You may or may not be able to pick this up, but this stock lens is, you can't see through it completely. It has like a haze or a fog to it. And it has that nasty line going through the middle. I'm not sure if that was a casting thing or why they put that there. But it's just not optically perfect as it should be in this situation. It has kind of a dimple-ish appearance to it as well. So on the headlight itself, it has a 100% clear, it's like crystal clear projector lens now. And that alone will get you I think whenever we did the testing, it was more than double the light output of the stock lens there. And then I changed the xenon bulbs as well, and put some LEDs with the CAN bus air-free bulbs in there as well, so you don't get any warnings on the dash or anything. And the colors that I used were Mercedes paint colors. That was the Designo matte black from the C63, like the 507 in the launch edition. They had a matte black C63. Really nice color. It's hard to tell in this lighting, but it does have a fair amount of metal flake in it. In the light, it really does pop. I didn't polish these outside lenses yet, so they look a little dirty. But and then the shroud here, I also changed that from chrome, which I left on the previous cars, and did this as well. This is the Designo Mercedes color, and I left the chrome trim ring on there just for some contrast. And I think once it's on the car, it's going to look amazing. These are going to look almost like eyes on the side, left and right of the hood. And that's really going to draw your attention to these corners here, since everything else is black. It's going to look pretty menacing on there. Like I said, that's pretty much what's going on here. Finishing up the exhaust, waiting for the wheels to come in, and then put the car back together, get it on the dyno, get it tuned, get it back on the street. So he said probably anywhere from 1.5 to 3 weeks at the most, just depending on when I can get the dyno scheduled. So look for another upcoming video on that. Once I get the exhaust done, I'll get some new clips on that. And I'm going to start on this car here. That'd be about it. Take care.